Hello, welcome to another Unwrapping. This time, Jon Pertwee, Doctor Who Season 9, just come out today, which is the 20th of March 2023. A little bit of a wait, isn't it? But here we are. Really looking forward to this one because this is my era. He was my Doctor. This is the one I grew up with. And there's some really exciting stuff on here. We've got two omnibus. We've got the Daleks and the Sea Devils in omnibus form. And we've got surround sound and Atmos for the Sea Devils. I know a lot of people have been saying they wish it was the Daleks that was the surround sound, but for me, I'm really pleased it was the Sea Devils, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's open it up, see what we've got in this one, what artwork, and we'll also be having a look at the DVDs that this box set replaces. So let's go straight in here. Get this cover off. There we go. I must say the artwork's really nice. You can see the Master's TARDIS there. That's from the Time Monster. One of my favourites. I do enjoy that one. Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? Making a good job of these so far. Right, so let's have a quick look at the back of this. Yeah, let's hope they start bringing them out a bit quicker now. And I wonder what the next one's going to be. We haven't had a Patrick Troughton one yet, but it's, you know, not really complete. But I'll take what they've got if they want to bring out a collection. Or we could finish off. I mean, what? We're going to get one more Pertwee. There's a few more Tom Bakers. Peter Davis, so they've all still got some to do. Even Sylvester McCoy's got another one to do. Yeah, let's just give you a close up there where it tells you about the surround sound, atmoses and what have you. Quite exciting that. I quite like the omnibus ones. We haven't got a... So I don't know if you're like me. When you watch a Doctor Who, you end up watching all of the episodes, all one adventure. And I get a bit fed up with the title and having to go through that. It's quite nice to have it in omnibus form, so I don't bother with that. I don't know why they just don't make them... It's going on about how rare it is and exciting, but surely they could just edit all of these to work with a Blu-ray player. That it just misses those titles. Couldn't they just work that out somehow so you could have an omnibus of all of them all the time? Getting a bit annoyed with some of these things. They could all be done. Must say that's nice though. Do you like that colour? Nice turquoise. Nice 70s Doctor Who TARDIS. Right, let's have a look inside then. Yes, and I got the correct covers for this disc. So, we've got Day of the Daleks. I'm not scratching it. Very, very lightly turning it around. Day of Daleks Omnibus Edition. Curse of Peladon. Well, they're quite nice, aren't they? Because they're actual pictures. They're not drawings. I much prefer these Sea Devils. I mean, if they could CGI so they blinked and they had a little bit of movement, these were better than the Dr. Woke ones where that ridiculous Sea Devils of the Caribbean meets the CGI computers from Armageddon or whatever it was. It was rubbish. I mean, there were a few good bits in it, but oh, it was all over the place. That bit when the Sea Devil jumped up onto the ship, I mean, oh, please, it was so bad. I mean, these come... no, I'll talk about it now. These coming out of the water, because they actually had the Navy involved with this, so they're all on this little old sea fort turret thing out from the World War II, I guess it was from, an outpost. But they actually come in and they just appear out the water. So they had all the stuntmen dressed up and all this stuff walking out the water. For me, it's iconic is the Cybermen walking down the stairs outside the Albert Hall. It's another great iconic Doctor Who moment, just these Sea Devils coming out of the water to start with. They could have made more of it. They could have done a little bit more of that and a few close-ups. But it's quite a nice fight scene, and I think they had actual members of the Navy involved in that as well on that Navy base. Amazing how they could collaborate with the armed forces back then, but not anymore. Times changed, don't they? Alright, disc 5 Sea Devils, so what's the difference? So one must be the omnibus. It doesn't say that, it just says disc 4 Sea Devils, disc 5 Sea Devils. So I'm guessing one would be the omnibus. These are really nice pictures, you know, on here. Nice and clear. Nice focus. What have we got here now? Oh, the Mutants. Well, that was that very, very extra shiny man, wasn't it? And the Time Monster, I really like that one. And oh no, there's another one. Down. Keep going. Time Monster again. Oh, we've got 2 Time Monster discs as well. Well, it's looking pretty good so far. This is a nice box set, this one. See, nice clear printing. God, that nearly looks like 3D, that does. That jumps out, that picture. Let's have a look what we've got this time. Yeah, I quite like this era. I don't know about these discs though. They're more like salad bowls, aren't they? With non-stick bases. I prefer just the normal circles, but I do like the TARDIS looking like this. And when they ever do an episode where they have a retro TARDIS, I always really enjoy seeing those episodes. So we've got an advert again. Doctor Who products. Yeah, let's look through it, shall we? Let's look through it. See what Doctor Who products there are. Yep. Demon Quest, limited time on vinyl. There's all sorts now, isn't there? They were so little when I was growing up. I mean, you know, you might be able to get a Dalek. It didn't even look properly like a Dalek, you know. We had such hardly any merchandise when I was a kid. I must say, they've really done a good job with these photos and photorealistic covers and things. They look really nice this time. Okay, so you may wish to pause and have a read. It's 4K, so that should be big enough to be able to see it. I think Joe goes back on the specials on this one and revisits some of the old places. I like it when they do that and see what they look like now. I like the one where she went with her husband back on the Demons one, when she went back to that village. Imagine being a school kid from that village and Doctor Who turned up to film the Demons, and every day after school you could go and see it. Oh, it was Alpha Centauri. I can remember everyone in school going, "Did you see Doctor Who last night?" Yeah. I said, "What the hell was that thing?" Yeah, he said, pathetic. I think she's quite nice. I'm not sure if it's a he or a she, really. Oh, so many good episodes. I'm looking forward to enjoying this. I'll have to limit myself to one disc a day, I think. Nice thick paper again. Yeah, really nice clear, crisp there. That's what I was talking about when the Sea Devils came out of the water. Always remember that bit. I think they were great with I don't think they used the same. As you can see them, they've got them in their pockets there. It looks like what the doctors used to use years ago to they used to put their eye around a mirror. It looks a bit like that, and they hold them, and it's their weapon. But I don't think the newer Sea Devils had that. I mean, it's a shame they didn't keep that. Oh, there we go. They hold them up. See, that's a really good weapon. It's like a timeless weapon. It doesn't look dated. And if you take like the Time Monster, the doctors, he made this device for discovering or scanning or picking up some time distortion wave. It's the most ridiculous looking unit. It looks a bit phallic, and it's really amateurish looking, whereas this is an absolutely timeless weapon. It looks perfect. No need to change that. It looks like it's some sort of sonic weapon. It makes like a sonic. Mutants. I can't remember that one. Mutant, I got it. Can't remember much about that one. In fact, I keep watching these and I completely forget a lot of them and have to watch them again. My memory's going. It's Time Monster. Yes, it's not the whole crystal from Atlantis, it's only part of it. Yeah, she's holding that device, but you can't really see it that well there. I was talking about. Look, they look perfect, the Sea Devils, don't they? If they just had a bit of movement in the face, if they just CGI'd like blinking, a little bit of breathing or something, oh, I think he's going to attempt some Venusian karate on that Sea Devil there, but the Sea Devil doesn't look in the least bit bothered about it. It's that strange fusion, isn't it? It's sort of a bit of a turtle, isn't it, in there, or a terrapin or something. I thought these were much more scary than Daleks. I never found the Daleks scary, but as a child, I found the Sea Devils really scary. And there's the Time Monster. A lot of people say that it didn't really work. Kronos, I mean, that's Kronos, isn't it? But it was all white, and then it was sort of slightly sort of prismatic effect when they filmed him arriving. And they've done bleached out a bit more. I mean, now with CGI, they could have done I wonder if they've CGI'd any of this, because that's something that doesn't seem to have had a mention here. So usually they give you alternative with CGIs. That is crying out to be CGI'd. And just make it look more so. Keep him in it. Don't CGI him out and have a completely different one. But just make it so you can't quite make out that it's a bloke in a white suit, because you still can. With the effects they had in the early 70s, you know, and it wasn't just a budget children's programme. So, but I mean, now they could make so much more of these things. Well, I must say, very, very nice. Gonna keep that, I think. Very nice. Looking forward to this one. And if you've never been to the classic series, this might be quite a good one to have a dip in. As long as you're going to be forgiving that it's, you know, the early 70s and it's just not going to be like Doctor Who now. As long as you can like take that step and think, oh, I'll give it a go. It's more of the acting, and you've got to have a little bit of belief in it, you know. Like I'm saying, like, you know, a lot of things could look better, but the Sea Devils are great. Absolutely fantastic. And let's have a look at the DVDs that this box set replaces while we're here. And that Sea Devils episode for me had a much bigger influence on me than a lot of the others because of the sound. It was one of the most avant-garde soundtracks I think they ever did for Doctor Who. And it's just all synth sounds, which is something I love doing myself now. I love messing around with synthesizers and just making sounds. Sometimes I just like the sounds rather than the tunes. Just enjoying synthesizers working. And it really did start off my interest. I didn't even know what a synthesizer was when I saw the Sea Devils. I just heard these strange sounds. So it doesn't really have tunes. It has all these. I mean, sometimes when the Sea Devils appears, you just get a sort of LFO, quite high LFO, going as they appear, sort of making these just brutal sounds. It's quite different. It's quite different to a lot of the others, and that's the one they've chosen to do in surround sound as well. So that's going to be interesting. I notice it's in Atmos as well. I've got Atmos, but I haven't got the ceiling speakers. I've only got the surround speakers. So I find for me, DTS is usually the best sound quality for me. Yeah, what a fantastic one. Sea Devils. Yeah, give this one a look. I mean, I think there are some clips on YouTube of this, but you really do need to see the whole thing in its entirety, this one. Even the Master, I think he's imprisoned in this, and he's watching the clangers in one bit when they got him held captive. And this is the thing to call the Sea Devils. They're related to the Silurians, by the way. They're both from that era. I think they were disturbed when we had a bomb went off, something like that, and it woke them up. So they were in hibernation in the sea, deep down. And they were the original inhabitants of Earth with the Silurians. So here's what it's replacing. So I think you get most of what's on the DVDs. They had to censor some of them. I mean, they took a bit of Jimmy Savile out on the two Doctors with Patrick Troughton. But on the whole, it doesn't get too censored. I mean, you know, let's just give it to us like it is. We can deal with it. If you want to put a warning on, put a warning on. But you know, I've had to keep the DVD of that one. Yeah, that's my recommendation for a classic Doctor Who. Who've never taken the dive for a classic. That one in particular, very, very influential on me as a young boy. This one. And I say not just because I found them particularly scary, but the avant-garde synthesizer music on this one is something else. And they didn't really do it the same. It probably didn't get received that well, because it wasn't melodic enough or what have you. But for me, I thought it was one of the very best. It gives it a chilling edge, especially when they're in this turret thing. So there's a lot of they look like metal behind them, and it gives it a sort of wet, cold feel, and this sort of cold sort of sounds. It all just gives you the actual creep out filter if you let your mind go with it. Really, really like that one. And again, the Time Monster, another firm favourite of mine. Really like this beautiful woman in it as well. She's absolutely gorgeous. You don't see much of her, I don't think. But it's I love the bit you get this slowed down bell sound. He starts messing around with the Master's messing around with this machine to slow down time or reverse it or something. And there's a bell striking outside, and it sort of, and everyone going into the field starts slowing down or stopping, and he's going, "No, Brigadier, stay out." And just that whole concept of, I mean, all you've got to do is slow the film down, but the whole concept of that messing around with time and things slowing down and speeding up, and in the end he does summon Kronos, who's the god of time. But it's also mixed in with Atlantis, which is where he's got this crystal from, to be able to put it in the machine to do all this. But I won't tell you what happens, just in case. Spoilers. Too soon? 1970s? Another good one. Yeah, when the Time Monster appears, it really does just look like a bloke in a white suit. As you can see there. But let your mind go. It's a really nice one, and there's a really nice, beautiful woman in it as well. She really is nice. Sorry for all these people watching it don't want to know about that, but I can't help tell you about the way these things have affected me, watching them now and watching them back then as a young boy. Another good one. And I've actually got the Master's TARDIS. I'll show you in a minute. When we go to put this one in my collection, we'll have a look at the Master's TARDIS while we're there. Because it's actually pretending to be a 1970s computer, which is like a big thing with tapes. Quite the old computers were actually binary. They worked, you programmed them in binary, and they had tape. I think it might have been 8. No, it's actual binary, I think you typed in. It's just tape or paper tape with holes in it, the ones I remember as a kid, before they even had magnetic tape. Although there still was magnetic tape as well. You know, like on UFO, you see these reels going backwards and forwards. There still was magnetic tape as well. So Day of the Daleks. Of course, we've got Omnibus on there. And we'll have a look at the back of that. There we go. 2-disc one. Quite nice artwork as well on these. But I've got to say that the new artwork on this set, one of the best I've seen so far. Really sharp, really nice photographs on the actual discs themselves, and that booklet's nice as well. I mean, you compare it to these, I mean, this is okay, but having that nice booklet, I don't think you get it in the, you only get it in the special edition, I think, whereas it's more like this if you buy the standard one. So it's worth getting the special edition for that booklet, because it looks a good one this time. It looks like it's really well printed. Day of the Daleks. Yeah, as I said, I like the Ogrons. Sometimes they work with the Daleks, or they were I think they were. I don't think they were slaves. I think they had some sort of partnership going for a while. It works quite well when the Ogrons were with them. God, I don't have to remind me of the reptile. You know, Servalan played the reptile in the Hammer film years ago. The eyes are just the same, I think. The Mutants. This was a double disc as well. I get quite a few episodes. Weren't many different stories this season, were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you get quite a few episodes, that's the thing. Nowadays, when they bring stuff out, it'd be nice if, wouldn't it be nice if they did Doctor Who again, and it instead of just being an hour or whatever it is, 40 minutes, and it all has to happen and finish in 40 minutes, it actually was 6 parts or something, with one monster, like it used to be, just to mix it back up to how it was. Maybe even like on the first episode, you don't even know what the monster's going to be, because that was always quite fun as well. Because there wasn't the internet, there wasn't much. I mean, you might have, if your parents had bought the Radio Times, there might be a mention in it, or sometimes the continuity announcer would ruin it and tell you what it is. But sometimes they didn't have the big reveal to the end of the first episode. So you didn't even know. You knew something was wrong, but you didn't know what he was actually facing. And that was quite nice. So it'd be nice if they did an old school one like that. Of course, Peladon Tales, there are 2 of them. They're both good. It's quite political, the other one. Yeah, it's more to do with politics than anything. It's more to do with acting and politics. There's not much else in that and that. And it's quite an enjoyable one. It's a good dialogue one. This one's more of course, you've got the old Ice Warriors. The same Ice Warrior that was in the Troughton era. He's back again. Probably Bernard Bresslaw with him as well as one of the Ice Warriors, I expect. So you've got the Ice Warriors. You've got this strange. He's a delegate from. They're having some sort of meeting, as far as I remember, and they have appearances. Is it Agador? It's called, of this monster. In fact, it's just a stone statue that are projecting. But there is a real Peladon monster in the caves underneath. And John Pertwee has to. I think they get chucked down there, a bit like the Star Wars when Luke gets put down by Jabba the Hutt, but it's on a budget, so it's a bloke in a furry costume. But he does get hypnotised, and then it's all okay. He sings a special song, Aru, 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 to him, and he's all hypnotised then. It's a good one. In fact, the difference between something like this and the Time Monster of the Sea Devils, there's a nice difference between all of these. It's nice and varied. No similar stories at all here. And this one's really on its own, the Peladon one. It's a different concept, because you've got Ice Warriors in the background, but that's not all that's going on here. It's not just run by them and that's it. There's other characters, and of course you've got the Queen of Peladon and her council and all of that going on as well. Yeah, there's some good ones. For me, it's these 3. And, God, you'd be angry at me, won't you? Because a lot of people really do like the Daleks. I do, but I think the Sea Devils are much more scary. There's some really good ones in this season. Really good. So there's some more DVDs for my friend to have. And I've now compacted it down to this. So let's go and put this in the permanent Doctor Who exhibition that I've got by the front door. So I've actually got a place prepared for now. Shove them about a bit, because that was the last one we had. And there we are, that's the Master's TARDIS and the Master. He's also got the crystal there from Atlantis, and that ridiculous phallic control thing to pick up time radiation or whatever it was. It was made by the BBC props department. It wasn't actually made by NASA. So there we are. So it's in its new home. I put a lot of the Tom Baker ones down here now. So there we are. Oh, we also have a special guest from Blink. And of course there wasn't a cherub, was there, in Blink? That was later on when Rory had the matches. But that gravestone is from Blink. And that's her when she ended up going back, isn't it? Who was the star of that particular show. I love that episode. I mean, you really had to be into Doctor Who because there was no Doctor Who in that episode, so it was, yeah, a very brave one and very, very good original episode, that Blink. So yeah, it's all filling up quite nicely here. Let's get rid of all the rest of these DVDs and get going, hopefully. Right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Hopefully it'll be soon with another Doctor Who.